Universal laws contain the principle of accountability. All human beings are responsible for their thoughts, deeds, actions, and behaviors. All of these are direct choices made each person in the moment that we direct energetic consequences to restore energetic balance to the appropriate parties at the end of the ascension cycle. Whatever quality of energies we prepare our body to be resonant with or hold as a spiritual vessel, whether it is a positive force or a negative force, is what we allow ourselves to have consent with. Whatever kind of force we are in consent with, whether we're conscious of it or not, is the frequency that our body and consciousness is subjected to in the universal law. The quality of spiritual force will have corresponding dimensional laws which govern the actions of the quality of that spirit. Negative forces are in the lower dimensions and create bondage to time, while positive forces are in the highest spiritual dimensions and create sovereignty, freedom to the soul and spirit. Practicing accountability is a direct part of spiritual ascension. As we increase our ability to be responsible, we increasingly developed our spiritual awareness and the way we perceive human values that evolve ourselves out of existing in the lower energy dimensions. Being accountable for our behavior and choosing more evolved higher ethical behaviors is how we stop the cycle of attachments and bondage to lower spirits and their lower nature.
Choosing more higher ethical behaviors can be put into practice as easily as navigating every interaction you have with another through the observer perspective. You may not have control of the nature of the tests or divine detours that come your way, but what you do have control of is how you choose to react. For example, when someone you come across is meeting you with a tone of displeasure or a topic that you do not share the same views as they do, being mindful in the moment on how you respond to this interaction will either keep your frequency sheltered or drag you down. It is fine to speak your truth and be your authentic self without watering yourself down. There's a saying, you cannot talk butterfly language with caterpillar people. Not everyone can fly with you. And that takes us back to the wonderful mountain analogy Teresa had mentioned from before.
This is also an accurate statement when determining the quality that one will experience in their personal life, family dynamics, career, and in every social interaction and communication they engage in. The importance of committing to a personal accountability as a developed character trait and skill set in order to improve one life's condition in every possible way. The willingness to be accountable for what you do, don't do, and refuse to do is a significant trait of your moral character.
There is a fine line between where inspiration flows and where energy harvesting grows. I had a friend who was in catering, and our other friend in common ordered a few dishes of theirs to go along with some they had cooked when hosting their in-laws over and wanted to impress them. The family complimented only the dishes that she had ordered. They felt so insecure with themselves, they chose to lie and tell their family that they had cooked these delicious meals when they had not. The day after the party, another person in my network of friends overhears the host admit what they had done wrong. They decided to question them on why they felt compelled to lie. It's okay to admit when you don't know how to cook a dish from a specific culture, but the host explained to them they don't have the proper ingredients. And even when they did, it doesn't taste the same or come out as good as the way our catering friend does it. In the future, another event takes place, and this time the host was invited to go over their in-laws, and they had requested she make the same dishes that they loved. She was frantic and cursing because they soon realized how their lie in taking credit for the meals prepared by someone else was now catching up with her. Where she thought it was an isolated incident she could get away with, people are starting to figure out it's not as good as it tasted before. This goes in line with the spiritual facade we come across. There are a lot of copycats out there. Much like this happened to Teresa's music she had made over 20 years ago. All the writing, the producing, the singing, sold without her consent. Teresa, you're such an inspiration. Not only through your music, when it was ahead of its time, but your creative writing and channeled messages. that you've shared with everyone when you opened your Facebook page many moons ago. And for anyone else that can relate to this message, we bring this up because the truth always finds a way to come to the light, especially in the new template that we are now in. The truth will manifest itself to the people that need to hear it. The greatness, that secret sauce that is akin to every person's individual success, it comes from them being aligned in their north node, their purpose.
You cannot try and take someone's blueprint for success or emulate them and present yourself as them in their lightness. In the law of compensation, all scales will be balanced.